Hi, I'm Des, and I don't have a set, but I do have unfettered internet access. And this is I Reddit Somewhere, a channel where I look at whatever my brain rot leads me to on the internet. And today, I am feeling annoyed, I'm feeling angry, and what better way to handle that but to get even more angry by reading AmITheDevil. AmITheDevil is a subreddit on Reddit where people repost posts from all over the internet, usually from AmITheAsshole. And it's the worst people and the worst stories you've ever heard. And it's been a while, so it's been long enough that more debauchery has come to the subreddit. So let's take a look at the absolute specimens that are on AmITheDevil today. Kink Stripes reposted this from AmITheDevil, and they say ableist, dismissive, and smug. And the title for this originally was, "Am I the asshole for telling my wife that ADHD can be managed through mindfulness, focus, and self-discipline?" And without reading it, as an autistic person, yes, because the problem with that is as an autistic, you are always overly mindful. You think about literally everything. Everything you do is manually breathe, manually blink, worry about the way you're sitting, the way you're breathing, the way you're looking. I don't think we could possibly get more mindful than we already are. And focus and self-discipline. Do you know anything about ADHD? Because I don't have it, but my siblings have it, and I have friends with it. And it's almost as if not being able to focus is sort of like the whole diagnosis. Madame, don't lick the... Anyway, after that lovely interruption, am I the asshole for telling my wife that ADHD can be managed through mindfulness and self-discipline? She and I both exhibit characteristics of what is called autism and ADHD together, commonly referred to as ADHD. She sent me a cute post from Reddit of a cartoon duck dealing with life with HD. Because the condition is chaotic in nature, the video is chaotic and triggered what had been hammered into me a lifetime of Catholic schooling about managing one's behavior. Okay. And people wonder why I don't like Catholic schools. All right. I told her that immaturity is saying, I have this condition and that's just the way I am. Well, maturity is saying, I have this condition and I will exercise discipline to overcome it in order to achieve my goals. You know what this is screaming to me? This is screaming low support needs, asshole, autistic guy, who if he could still call himself Asperger's, he would. That's what this is giving. As an autistic person, you should know that that's bullshit. And she shouldn't have to highly mask in order to function. And you know what? I'll go a step further. Easier for us to mask than it is for an ADHD person to mask. We can put on the mask because it's mostly social behaviors. If you're like low support needs, depending on because it's a spectrum, whatever. ADHD is not like that. You can't pretend your brain into remembering things. You can't pretend your brain into being organized without medication. Even then, the medication only helps you so far, right? It's not the same. I know sometimes we can struggle with this whole mentality because of the autism, the strict thinking that, well, you can just do it. You can just put something in it because this is black and this is white. And because it's black and white and I can't see gray because I'm autistic, this is the way it should be. I know because I used to be an asshole that used to think shit like this. Okay? But every asshole needs to grow the f up eventually. And if you have your girlfriend, you're too old to be saying this shit. You being traumatized by your Catholic school does not mean that you in turn should be a dickhead to your girlfriend. You should in fact work on your trauma. Get some therapy. Stop being a bitch. I added, it's important to keep the ADHD buttoned up when you're interacting with other people. No, bitch. That's not how that works. And you are going to say this until you burn out because you're wearing a mask all the time. And then, after you hit autistic burnout, and after you have skill regression, and after the mask shatters so hard that it can never be put back together perfectly and you can't mask to the way that you currently can, you're going to look back at this and say, oh, geez, I was not only wrong, but a piece of shit to someone I'm supposed to love. All right, I'm getting mad.
I thought I heard self-righteous clumping. Can I help you?
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up!
I'm getting mad on behalf of people that this story is not about, that are in my life. That it's just, no. You triggered the angry big sister in me. It's part of professionalism and maturity. No, it's part of ableism. You don't want people thinking you're a spaz and uncontrollable. As an autistic person, you should know not to call someone a spaz. And that this can harm you in your lifetime earning potential significantly. You want people to know that you can deliver when it counts. Having a disability doesn't mean that you can't deliver when it counts. You're an asshole. I'm sorry. She said, you know what? F you. I wanted to send you a cute but accurate video of what it feels like inside of my head all the time. I wanted some empathy and some understanding, and you decided to be a preachy asshole. Unfortunately, it is an autistic person who thinks masking is handling it and being mature and hasn't reached burnout yet, versus a ADHD person who understands themselves and can take a joke because they are actually more mature than the autistic person saying that having ADHD and like displaying ADHD makes you mature. He's just, unfortunately, he's an asshole in this moment, but I can't blame him too much because a lot of low support needs autistic people do act this way until they have a full-on burnout. I feel like it's a canon event, unfortunately, especially with the black and white thinking, but also on her end. I wanted some empathy and understanding. Instead, you decided to be a preachy ass. I don't want to defend him, but empathy could be a struggle for some autistic people. Not that they can't feel empathy, but sometimes we have problems putting ourselves into situations that we can't really conceive. Like, we can have empathy for people if we can conceive of ourselves being in that situation. But if we can't conceive of ourselves being in that situation, some autistic people have significant troubles with being empathetic. It's very annoying, but it is literally just part of the diagnosis. You can't be like, support me in my diagnosis, but don't you dare show traits of yours. And this is very exact to that. It's that, and it's black and white thinking, and it's deciding to be a preachy asshole a little bit. I think he might just be trying to care for you, but even that is misguided. He is a preachy asshole, but I don't think it's like malicious. I think he's just stupid. Yeah, I think he's just stupid and hasn't experienced too much of life just yet, and he's gonna get punched in the face with reality when he hits burnout. I replied with, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I just saw the video and thought, man, that's chaotic and terrible. Yes, well, ADHD is chaotic and terrible sometimes. And what came to my mind was all I have learned about and been taught about how not to be in that way. Am I the asshole for responding to a video based on my emotional triggers? See, this is why I feel a little weird, because it's just two people with, unfortunately, very conflicting diagnoses, which I feel really bad for people that do have the ADHD, because it is like one side is very opposed to the other. One side is very like, whoa, and the other side is like, if I don't have strict rules and strict things to follow, I will in fact die. And usually it's fine, but sometimes, especially if one person is immature and hasn't really dealt with the world or with its diagnosis, when it hits the bad parts of it, it turns into this situation. We're gonna read the comments. I've seen that before. People thinking that others having a laugh and commiserating around their mental health struggles means they aren't dealing and coping with those struggles. Like me having a self-depreciating laugh around my atrocious sleep schedule means it's just all fun and games, and I'm not doing anything about it. Also, don't you marry people exactly so that you have a person you don't have to be that buttoned up with? And how do you get all the way into marriage? Oh, I didn't know they were married. Did I misread that? How do you get all the way into marriage without even noticing this very obvious value conflict? Yeah, because it's rage bait probably, but suspending my disbelief. I don't think it's rage bait. Again, I think it's an autistic person not understanding an ADHD person and struggling with trauma from being raised in a Catholic school and just not appropriately handling his own autism diagnosis, because he's it looks like he's more self-diagnosed. And this other commenter comes in. She and I both exhibit characteristics of what is called autism and ADHD together, commonly referred to as ADHD. Exhibiting characteristics is not a diagnosis, and it's very possible he's wrong about one or both of their situations.
I mean, I'm not a therapist or psychologist, but what is that?
Also possible he needs less accommodations than his wife. I'm going to say it for the people in the back, and I'm going to hold your nutsack and squeeze when I tell you this. Self-diagnosis is valid. There are many reasons why someone cannot get a diagnosis. There are many barriers in the way of getting that diagnosis, even if you have the money and the proper, familial and societal setup that allows you to do that. A lot of people that self-diagnose that people shit on, they are actually autistic, and they don't have the ability to get diagnosed because of the socio-political barriers that keep them from doing so. Whether that be money, whether that be an unsupporting family, whether that be, like in my case when I first tried to get diagnosed all the way in 2005, just doctors that think that women or blah, 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 blah don't get autism because it's just little boys that like trains so much. There are so many reasons why someone wouldn't be able to get a diagnosis when they are actually that diagnosis. And frankly, this whole exhibiting characteristics as diagnosis. Listen, if someone thinks they have autism or ADHD, they have autism or ADHD. You just got to take it at face value, because nobody would go out of their way and choose to say that I have this disability, which is something that, especially in 2025, especially in the states where I assume most of these folks come from, is very looked down upon. And there's this eugenic idea that people should do everything they can to get rid of autistic people in the world. So nobody would go out of their way to say I am autistic when having that diagnosis limits your employment ability. It brings a social stigma, and it others you severely. This is not a fashion statement, okay? So off with this. Bitch. Wine. Fuck you. You're the devil, buddy. And also, I'm gonna go out here and say, neither of these people are the asshole. Yeah, everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here. It's just two people. One, the ADHD lady that, clearly knows about herself and can have a laugh. And the other one, an autistic person who very clearly is not appropriately handling that shit. Yeah, and even the original person that posted it into this subreddit says, I'm inclined to overlook the lack of a formal diagnosis since A, not everyone has easy access to that sort of thing, and B, getting formally diagnosed can result in medical discrimination in a lot of ways, so some people choose not to. But for everything else, yes, he's the yes. I'm going to add on an option C. It's likely that I have ADHD, but my former psychiatrist refused to test me because I got good grades in school. Sometimes people try to get diagnosed and don't get anywhere with it. Yeah, that was exactly my situation. And granted, it's a little bit different now. But I got tested in 2004/2005. I'd have to go back and check my old paperwork. And literally everything was like, if I was a guy, it would be the textbook definition of low support needs / high functioning. We're not supposed to use that term, but that's what it would have been called. Autism, or even at that day and age, because back then we were still given this diagnosis, Asperger's. But it says very specifically that I did too well in school, so it was literally just socially inept, sensitive, sensitive to sensory things, cries a lot, weird. Like, basically, the most medically polite way in 2005 to say, you're the arsler. You're the arsler. You don't have autism. You're just the arsler. Fucking deal with that. And so I went through a lot of my life being like, okay, I guess I'm just the arsler. And then when I was trying to get diagnosed, it took me like 5 years because I didn't have $5,000 just to get tested in Toronto. And I didn't have the money to go there, get a hotel for that whole duration, pay the $5,000 to get possibly diagnosed and then come back. No, you know what I did? I self-diagnosed. I watched a lot of TikToks. I did the RADS-R pre-diagnostic test and got a 200 score on that one. The passing is only 70. And it took me going through the welfare system, because I was on welfare, from the time that I'd started to like do the paperwork and stuff, 3 years. 3 years to do that because there was a long wait list. And between the long wait lists, I had 3 separate people be like not put in the paperwork that I had put in and not push it along because specifically 2 of them said, well, everyone's a little bit autistic. Are you sure you need that? And the only reason why I got through so fast is 1, because I'm very fucking annoying. And 2, because I was already on welfare for 2 years, because you have to be on welfare for 2 years to go through that system before they even allow you to get tested through that system to prove that you can't keep a job. So, you know, if I wasn't on welfare for a very long time, living in abject poverty, I wouldn't have been able to get diagnosed, because even when I was working full-time at Tim Hortons, I wouldn't have been able to afford to take the week off, to take the week off, to pay $5,000, to book a hotel room and transportation for that. Like, you can buy a cheap ass car for that. Like, people refuse to understand. Not just they don't understand, they refuse to understand the hurdles of getting diagnosed, and it makes me mad. It makes me very mad. There are a lot of shitty, stupid comments on this post talking about how getting a diagnosis is important because you don't want people without autism and autism species. We're gonna ignore that because I feel like I've just rambled a lot, and like I said, it's choosing to pretend to not understand the hurdles. And because you're choosing to pretend, I'm choosing to not give a what you say. Natural Thinker reposts from r/askmenadvice. He's friends with a pedophile. My wife and I are near divorce/separation. Can I get some advice on what to do to get back into her good graces? Okay, so here's the situation. I, male 47, lied to my wife, female 46, on multiple occasions, and now every time I think things are smoothing out, they just get worse. Context: we have been married for 16 years, known each other for 22, have 4 kids, 17, 14, 12, 10. Our oldest has a disability and requires assistance with all daily living tasks. I am a teacher and she's a program director at a nonprofit. For the last couple of years, we've made about the same money. We live in a 1,500 square foot house with 1 bedroom. Situation: I have 5 high school friends that I have kept in touch with through a text thread. Some humor on this thread gets pretty raunchy. In 2022, the raunchiest of all of them was drunk at a wedding and was texting stuff about all the jailbait at the wedding. Gross. Evil. My wife saw it, not uncommon, we use each other's phones all the time, and she made it clear that his type of humor was a deal breaker for her. I blocked the guy. Good, because you shouldn't be joking about wanting to underage kids. That's repugnant. Last year for the March Madness pool we were running, there were so many texts and I was having trouble keeping track of the conversations, so I unblocked him for the tournament. Hold up. There were too many text messages. I was having problem keeping track of all the text messages. So I unblocked him so that there would be more text messages that I couldn't handle. Where's the logic in that? No, you just wanted an excuse. After it was over, I left him unblocked. Yeah, you just wanted an excuse. The raunchiness was even worse than it was before, but I thought if I just deleted the gross jokes, it wouldn't be anything to worry about. She didn't want you to hang out with that guy. It's not the jokes, it's the fact that he's a fucking pedophile. Also, hiding things from your wife, it's the one thing she didn't want, and you're like, oh, I'll just hide it. I'll just hide it. She doesn't need to know, it's fine. Then fuck you. The worst of the jokes were of a sexual nature involving students. 4 out of the 6 of us on the text thread are high school teachers. So first week in March, my wife grabs the phone to use the flashlight app to find her phone. She goes to the app menu and types in F, and the first thing that pops up is a recent text from this guy who she thought I still had on block. His name starts with F. She told you that she was going to use the flashlight, but like, everyone has a phone. Everyone knows you swipe down and oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? I'm gonna shine my eyes. You don't need to search. It's in your pull down. Something tells me she was checking your phone because you have a long history of doing shit like this. She was really mad but didn't go 0 to 60. After a couple of days, we talked about it and she asked to go through my phone. She asked if there was anything awful that I should warn her about, and I said no. She looked for a while, then found the deleted text folder. That's when it hit the fan. She was mad I lied, mad that I brought this kind of garbage into our lives, mad that I did not speak up and put an end to the jokes that were clearly way over the line. Yeah. It's also really concerning that you guys are all teachers, and he is constantly talking about jailbait and talking about doing things to kids. It's not okay. Anyone who's had a perverted, clearly thinly veiled
Me fail English? That's impossible.
pedophile teacher can tell you that's not okay. It's gross. It makes everyone feel unsafe. It's disgusting. And at worst, when they groom and rape kids, it ruins lives. And you're a teacher and you're a mandated reporter because you are a teacher. So it is actually your job to take these text messages from your teacher friend and go to the teacher's school and be like, hey, this guy wants to f kids. You are a mandated reporter. You have to do this. Also, you're a mandated reporter. I'm pretty sure you have to bring it to the cops. Do your job. Also, I find it funny he's not actually showing the text messages. Because if he knew that, like, 100% that he wasn't in the wrong, he would show the text messages. But he's very specifically not showing the text messages like, it was raunchy, it was over the line. Show us. Show us the jokes your friend was making about his students. Go on, coward. Also, in the early goings of this, I was really mad and told some of my friends she was having a breakdown and stuff like that, speaking negatively of my wife. Well, I was telling her that she was right, and I saw why she was angry and that I wanted to make amends. This lying did a ton of damage because now she doesn't know what to believe because I have lied so much. She needs to leave your dumb ass. She has met a lawyer about filing for divorce. We have rented an apartment near our house where we trade off nights sleeping there. I started therapy, which has been a huge help. We clearly not, because you're still avoiding accountability like you're in the Matrix. We have some good times where we feel a connection, and we have had a lot of conversations that are super emotionally charged and go into the wee hours of the morning. There are a lot of acts of service I have been doing to make up to her and show her that I am not a dirtbag. Well, I mean, you are because you support pedophilia. But she is also looking for more of an emotional connection, which is something I struggle with, but I'm working with my counselor. Sorry, if you struggle with being emotional, how do you feel any connection? You can't be like, I feel a connection, in the same paragraph where you're like, yeah, I struggle to feel any emotion. No. You want to support your little pedophilic friend. You're probably also creepy as well. You lie to your wife constantly. And you basically want a bag of flesh to fucking have kids. That's what you want. You're gross. I feel like there is so much more to do to make things right between us, and I love her with everything I got. Do you, though? You struggle with emotions, you lie to her all the time, and you prefer to keep a man who wants to f kids in your life over just blocking him. That's all you had to do. All you had to do was block him. So do you love her? No, I don't think you do. I think you're a little creep. You're a little weird man. And of course you're a teacher, because what else would you be? When I focus on acts of service, I am ignoring emotional growth side of things. Are these acts of service actually acts of service, like doing things for her, or is that what you're calling sex? What are the acts of service? Are the acts of service head? When I am focusing on emotional growth and connections, acts of service and logistics fall off the radar. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It is... Okay, could be two things. One, he only gives head when he's working on acts of service and then he doesn't care about her. Or these acts of service are just like doing his job as a parent, like cooking, cleaning, doing things, taking care of the kids. And when he's doing that, he can't be emotional. And if he's emotional, he can't be doing... It's like you are a 3D person. You are a whole person, okay? You live in 3D space. You're not a 2D cartoon. You're not. So you have the ability to do both. You are choosing not to. We did have a very happy marriage. Yeah, I'm sure you were happy. But considering that she snoops through your phone and you lied to her all the time, I don't think she was. This has shown us, mostly me, that there's a lot of neglect in our marriage through the years that we didn't even notice until it was too late. If anyone has any advice for me, it would be great. Keep going to therapy. Leave that woman the f alone. Take care of your kids. Pay your child support. And shut the f up. Oh yeah, and go to the police about your pedophilic friends. Do that. Also, maybe actually quit your job because you are supporting pedophilia and you work with kids. That's what you should do. Yeah. Put the fries in the bag, motherfucker, and start all over again. Don't go near school ever again. That's what I think. And this is, again, from Natural Thinker. Is that what from... Did she do the last one too? Yes, he did. You're a purveyor of bullshit, my friend. So they reposted from Am I the Asshole? Would I be the Asshole Public? It must be an offshoot of Am I the Asshole, because that subreddit has some pretty harsh mods, and sometimes they like to go crazy with deleting things just for funsies. I think it's like Power Tripped. So there's a lot of like offshoot subreddits for people to post things without it being needlessly removed for no reason. The post says, Am I the asshole for replacing girlfriend's pet after it died? My cat just sneezed in the background, it means yes. I, 23 male, am dating Katrina, 23 female. We live together, which is great, but it can cause arguments. I'll admit I also have some anger issues, which can sometimes make it worse. Do we have a red flag? This isn't red, it's pink, and it's glasses tinted. Red flag. Friday, I was just trying to chill when Katrina told me she found some of my clothes on the floor and asked me to pick them up. I was tired because I just finished working and asked her if she would pick it up since I just got off work and I didn't even know where they were. Well, I imagine they're wherever you dropped them. She noticed them anyways. So she had gone out of her way to come tell me instead of helping and doing it herself. I already know what type of man you are. Jesus Christ. I just got off work. It's clothes. It takes 2 seconds. You just need to pick them up and throw them in a hamper. No effort at all. 0 effort. I didn't know where they were. Yes, you do, because you dropped them. You took them off probably when you came home from work, so you know where you put them. And even if you didn't, where could they be other than the bathroom or the bedroom? Guess. You don't live in a mansion. I'm pretty sure you can figure it out within 2 guesses. She had noticed it, so she went out of her way to come tell me she's not your mommy. She shouldn't have to pick up after you. It is very reasonable for her to come out and say, pick up your clothes, you slob. Although I doubt she was as mean as she should have been. We ended up arguing about it and she left for the night to cool off. I was so mad I had to get it out somehow. Katrina has 2 pet goldfish and she seems to calm down when she cares for them, so I decided to try myself and fed them. I ended up unintentionally emptying the entire food container into the tank and went to sleep. You knew what the fuck you were doing. Don't play stupid little games. I wanted to calm down. Oh, I wanted to calm down? Oh, I just wanted to calm down. I didn't think that when I emptied an entire thing of food into a goldfish tank, that the goldfish would do what goldfish do and eat the entire thing. That's more, they were dead. I read it could be overfeeding or ammonia poisoning. Don't know which one it was. It was overfeeding, you dumb fuck. I freaked out because I didn't want her to think it was on purpose. It was. Stop lying to everyone. It was. So I asked her to stay away another night and that I needed some more time to cool down. I went to the pet store and got fish and cleared the tank so it looks like nothing had happened. She's going to be able to tell that the fish are different fish. She's not a fucking baby, unlike you weird man-child. I wasn't able to find more duckweed, so I just strained the old duckweed from the water and reused it. She came home Sunday. Everything seemed fine, but then she noticed the fish and said the markings looked different. Since I guess she had them memorized. Yeah, it's her pet fish, you dumb f***. Of course she's gonna know what they look like. Well, you treat her like a toddler that doesn't know the difference between the Steve the fish, la poisson Steve 1 versus la poisson Steve 2. Like, she's not stupid. I think this is a bad idea to do this when I was already angry, if I'm being honest. I felt so guilty that I told her. Originally, I was just not going to tell her, but she already caught on, so there was no point. And she lashed out at me. I told her it was irresponsible. I told her it was irresponsible to abandon her pets with me anyway. And she yelled she didn't realize that I would have purposely killed him. Which I told her I didn't do on purpose. But she didn't believe me. And that she didn't have time or space to pack up everything and set up the tank elsewhere, just to bring it all back. And she was only going for a night, you dumb fuck. She's going for a night because you're a little psychopath. A weird little child. A weird little homunculus who can't pick up his own clothes, and when he's asked to pick up his own clothes, he gets so angry that he murders animals. And fun fact about psychopaths, I'm not using that term lightly. Did you know one of the things that psychopaths often do, on top of not really getting the whole consequences or caring about personal consequences, they murder animals a lot. Yeah. Get a diagnosis and a life. This led to another fight. And she's left for her mom's place with the new fish. She says she feels unsafe around me now and wants me out of the house, or she'll have to have our landlord kick me out. We pay for the house together though, so it's unfair, but I know she'll get her way since her brother's friend is the landlord. I really think this is all an overreaction to a fish. Am I really the asshole here? I'm not gonna read the comments. I've said enough for everyone. Yes, you're the asshole. I think we need to call chicks. And I think we need to call this guy Earl. And I think Earl's ready for some black eyed peas for dinner. He doesn't care about fishes, so he won't mind the lake.
That Earl had to die. Goodbye, Earl.
Well, that was the video. Thank you for watching the video. Yes, this is a pre-recorded ending so that I stop forgetting to put them into the videos. If you like what you just saw, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. If you hate it, let me know that you hate it. Any interaction at all helps me in the algorithm. I am but a very teeny channel, but if you want to support me, there will be links in the description for a Patreon. There will be a free tier and tiers from $5 up. Basically, it's just a place to find information on upcoming videos. You can suggest what type of stuff you want to see there. And of course, if you want to support me, you can support me in this economy so I could put out a video more than every 15 days, which seems to be the current schedule. If you want to see more of my stuff, there's going to be something on the screen showing you to my latest video and the video that you are most likely to like from my channel. So go and check those out and support the channel. Y'all are awesome. I'll see you when I see you.